Brothers, the NBA draft's coming up in a few weeks, and you know what? This week is pre-draft camps in Orlando. It's that time of the year. College players, they get to go to Orlando, they get invited by NBA scouts and NBA coaches, and they get watched. And they get watched deeply because these are my 5 players that can improve their chances and get themselves into the contention within those first 2 rounds of being drafted. I have 3 UNC players, and then I have 2 other players. Now, let's get started with the UNC players. Wayne Ellington, great shooting guard. He can shoot it. He's 6'4". He's pretty good and athletic. He can get to the basket when he has to, but he's got to improve on his defensive abilities, and that's where he's going to have to show where he is a good basketball player. Wayne Ellington has an opportunity to get himself into draft status, but he really has to do well in Orlando. And if he does not, I think he really has to think about whether he wants to stay in this NBA draft and take that risk of getting drafted or go back to UNC. Another UNC guard, Ty Lawson. Now, Ty Lawson's a great point guard. He's fast, he's a playmaker, and he can do a lot of things on the court. But my feeling on this is that he's a little undersized, and that's kind of hurting him right now. He's barely busting 6 feet, and he just came off of injuries last season where he did have his struggles. But he was able to shine through towards the end of the season. He had a couple breakthrough games. But Ty Lawson, I feel, does need another year. But he can prove GMs that he can ball. And I think he can. He has that speed and he has a good knack for the game. But he has to learn how to control himself in certain game situations. And he also has to be able to knock down a consistent jump shot in these pre-draft workouts. Next up, Jamar Butler. Point guard / shooting guard from Ohio State. I give him more of the shooting guard role, but he did take over a little bit more of those point guard duties when Mike Conley left for the NBA draft early last year. Jamar Butler, he's a great player. He is a pretty good leader out on the court, and I think he can get himself and sneak himself into a second round contention. But Jamar Butler has to prove a lot of things. Not only that he can shoot, but he has to prove that he can be a floor general, he can be a floor leader, and he can control himself in certain game situations. Next, Jeremy Pargo. Good point guard. He's Jannero Pargo's brother, younger brother. And Jeremy Pargo played at Gonzaga for 3 years. Now, Jeremy Pargo, he's another guard that's undersized. He's another Ty Lawson in this situation. He's probably a little bit taller, maybe about 6 feet, 6'1". He has played both roles in college as point guard and shooting guard, but he's more of a point guard. Now, Jeremy Pargo, he has to prove that he can lead a team. He also has to prove that he can play some defense on bigger guards because the NBA is full of big guards. Darren Williams, 6'3". Baron Davis, 6'3". Jason Kidd, 6'4". Do you see where I'm going with this? That is where really Jeremy Pargo is going to have to improve himself. Now, Danny Green. That is my last guard and also another UNC guy. Now, I actually think that Danny Green has the best chance at staying in the draft. At 6'6", he's got a pretty good long arm span. He's a pretty good defender. He has a good knack for the game. He has a couple of tweaks in his game that he can improve on, but pre-draft camps, he can prove to people that he can play. He's a pretty good 3-point shooter. He has to improve on his mid-range game, and he also has to prove that he can be a good rebounder down low. That's my report on the 5 guys that I feel can improve themselves for the pre-draft workouts in Orlando. I have another 5 coming, but you're going to have to wait till tomorrow. I'm Jamel Brothers. Have a good day, everyone.